Hi, this is Lynn, and welcome to another Persuasion Byte, bite-sized tips on persuasion that you can use right away. As leaders, we are hired and rewarded for our good judgment. And if you check out the definition of judgment, it's making a considered decision or coming to a sensible conclusion. We've all experienced the dark side of this, however, with people who are instead judgmental, which means they're overly critical and not in a helpful way. One example for me was in my 20s when I was trying to get a CEO of a company to rehearse his first investor presentation. He didn't want any of this and turned to me and he said, "Darling, maybe you should just sit back and listen to your elders." And I remember at the time, my face got red, my upper lip started to sweat. Boy, I wanted to tell him he was a lousy speaker and he really needed this practice. When people have been judgmental of you, where does that show up in your body? Maybe you get a headache, or maybe you get stress in your shoulders and your neck, or maybe your fists clench, or maybe you get that swirl in your gut. Here's one thing that's for sure. When you're in that situation, you are in no way going to have good judgment, which is what you want the people that you work with to have. So how do we avoid falling into those situations where we become judgmental? And it all starts really with knowing whether or not we're triggered. Something happens, a person you're working with, and you look at that person and do you feel like saying, "Well, in what world did you think that was a good idea?" Or, "That was really stupid." You know, when you feel like saying that stuff, you are triggered. Which means take a deep breath and choose to have good judgment. And do it by following this 3-step process where you become the leader that you would want if you were in that other person's position. First thing you do is have empathy, because we've all said or done stupid things. So you've been in the position that that person is in. So take that breath and now ask either one of these questions. What were you hoping to achieve by doing this? Or what did you learn by doing this? And then sit back and listen with empathy and understanding, because that truly is what you want, to understand what's going on rather than to punish somebody for something, because that will get you nothing that you want. Learn more about what's happening before you make a judgment. And the second thing you want to do is to be genuine. So be honest in your responses and ask, "What do you think we ought to do now?" Don't be given advice at this point. You are asking the other person what he or she thinks. You're letting them know that you believe that they have the ability to suggest something good, which is going to build up their confidence. And the other thing, of course, is that everybody has more invested when they come up with a solution than rather if you hand it to them and make them feel less than. So be genuine there. And finally, give them positive support. Remember, separate the person who is the one that you're working with, whom you've hired or you're working with because this person has a great talent or skill. Separate that person from the action that he or she has taken. And then ask, what can I do to be of support to you? And listen to what the person needs. And if they're asking you to do things that you shouldn't be doing, say so. It's back to you being honest again. But if there are things that you can be doing, negotiate this. Because instead of making a person feel less than and judged, now you're helping that person feel part of the solution, and you're reinforcing what they've learned. And ultimately, circle back with that person and evaluate what happened and what both of you have learned and what you want to do in the future. Doesn't that feel a whole lot better? So have empathy, be genuine, and offer your positive support. Because when you do these things, you become the most persuasive leader in the room. Thanks for watching.